Well, hello, good morning, and welcome to all the participants and speakers. My name is Rosemary Alker. I am a physicist. I specialized in physics of the atmosphere, got my master's in meteorology and geophysics, and I am the subdirector of the weather department in Mediaset here in Spain. Today, I will be your host, and as I said, welcome to this wonderful morning. We've prepared a lot of things, and I hope you enjoy this as much as we've enjoyed it preparing it. The first thing we have to talk about is about EU Project DIVA. What is this? Well, if you enter their webpage, the first thing that stands out is that they boost, support, and encourage new industrial digitech value chains to emerge and develop. And that is exactly what we want to do here today. We want to share knowledge with experts. We want to share future trends and technologies and promote research and development. We also want to share technical and business cooperations. So this event is provided for digital tools and solutions, but also for companies all over Europe that work in the agri-food, forestry, and environment sectors. First of all, please welcome DIVA Project Coordinator, Nicolas Nguyen.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Indeed, I am Nicolas Nguyen, that is very difficult to pronounce, and I'm from Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation from France, and I'm currently the coordinator of the DIVA project. So on behalf of DIVA and DIVA consortium, and as a result of the work that we've carried out for 3 years, so I'm glad to open this day. DIVA gathers, as you may know, 10 partners from 6 different EU countries. So namely, we have Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation and Digital Centres in France, CTA and AMETIC in Spain, Tech Labs and INESCTEC in Portugal, and then also H-Farm and CRPV in Italy, and Janet in Greece, and last but not least, Chagask in Ireland. And so I'm glad to open this day today on behalf of this nice consortium. The event is meant not only as the final event for DIVA, but more globally as a way and an opportunity to discuss about digitalization, about innovation, agri-food sector and forestry and environment, and open perspective on this topic. So I hope that you will enjoy this day that we want to share with you. Last information important is that this event is organized in collaboration with the Europe Enterprise Network, and this is very interesting because the European Enterprise Network provide expert advice and support to companies in Europe, but more globally. And I know that 25 different partners of this network have been gathered today. So there is a special thanks for them to make it possible and make access also to the platform. And special thanks also to AMETIC for organizing this nice event today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Nicola, for your words. And thank you to all the 485 participants that we have joining us today. It's a great pleasure to have all of you here. And as I said, we have a great morning ahead of us, combining roundtables, pitches, networking opportunities, and the awards ceremony. I just want to give a quick reminder for all registered participants. Do not miss the chance to schedule a meeting to increase your networking opportunities through the B2 Match platform. There will be time for the audience to vote and select the best moderation, demonstration, and internationalization projects. So now, without further ado, please let's get started with this welcome session, and please welcome Marek Przeor, DG Grow European Commission.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you confirm that you can hear me? Then everything on my side theoretically works.
Now, perfect.
Excellent, good. So good morning, everyone, and happy to be with you. I'm very delighted that this is this meeting final of the DIVA project. When you started and we started this InnoSoup, you all had the the slide where we were saying what we want from this project as the European Commission. My name is Marek Przeor. I'm responsible for cluster policy in DG GROW, and I'm just want to have this InnoSup1 project as something which can be given as examples for any policy instruments for policymakers at regional, national levels as well. So we wanted to really make the cross-sectoral, cross-regional innovation. We wanted to have the involvement of clusters as facilitators. We wanted that the money will flow directly to SMEs, and we wanted to have a complementarities with the regional innovation strategy. So for this, using variety of support innovation tools. As the final outcome, we of course wanted to have the innovation, be it in the Oslo manual sense, broader innovation, not only a product but as well processes or marketing or organizational. So this was what we were presenting when you started your project, and then in the we did a impact report in mid 2019 when this 4 million euro with the goal to provide support to the emergence and development of new industrial digital value chains with applications to the Agrifood Forestry and Environment sector was to be used in with the consortium partner. So at that moment, it was 2 years ago almost, we heard that there were 66 consortia, that there's 1.3 million worth of vouchers in preparation. I believe today we can hear about the progress done, and of course we all realize the problems of COVID, which in some cases it accelerated, in some cases it really slowed down the activities. So we are going to have this meeting today in order to listen to your successes and to listen to what you achieved during the project. But before, let me shortly, because we don't have much time, shortly say some words about the cluster policy and development for the future. So basically, we had set up, we have an expert group with ministries of economy, usually the peoples in the ministries which are across EU, which are responsible for cluster policy, and cluster managers, and all together we co-created the recommendation report, which is such a cornerstone for our actions in the 2021-27. So basically, it's very much aligned with the industrial strategy, leading the green transition, accelerating the digital transition, and building resilience. The elements which is very important right now in the COVID-19 experience period. So we published it a week ago. So you could have a look in this. I want to highlight only this block on digital transformation, main points, the details you can see in the report. First of all, of course, in order to have the digitalization to be uptaken, and you need to have reskilled and skilled people. So reskilling and upskilling in digital skilling is extremely important. So the clusters should work with the members in order to increase and embed in the local labor market, labor vocational trainings, labor skills in regions, in territories, in cities. Then increase cluster capacity to have this shift from just not only knowledge-based intelligent manufacturing using intelligence digitalization, but as well in order to be really in industry 5.4 or 5.0 now, data-driven, knowledge-enabled smart manufacturing. So this is something that awareness raising about new opportunities among the members of the clusters, SMEs, is extremely important in order to help them in accelerating the uptake of new solutions. And this is never ending, very well, better than me, that in business things are moving ahead, and people are not waiting for the laggards to join. The next is exactly digital innovation hubs. That the clusters are embedded in this. With our colleagues in DG Connect, we are working together. So that the ICT clusters, we have 400 in Europe, are part of the digital innovation hubs, which exactly are for combining the supply of ICT intelligence with the demand. As we know, if you are good in IT, doesn't mean that you are good in agri-food. If you combine these two, then you can find solutions. Then public-private partnerships to boost digital and advanced technologies. And finally, using clusters and as strategic agents for policymakers in order to have the digital transition in the region. So this is shortly, and we all know that the new financial period started. 2 billion euro. Now work in the Commission is very intensive in order to put all the programs, work programs adopted, so that we can start launching calls. So the one of the, let's say, groups is the new and reinforced priorities, where we have the competitiveness and research together. The biggest in the block is, of course, Horizon Europe, where InnoSup is financed, but as well we have as DG Grow single market program. And I want to say something about the single market program because it will be constructed from some blocks regarding as well standardization, food chain, and consumers and end users. But for me, most important is this just joint cluster initiative, which we are designing and want to launch the call in the second half of this year. And I'm saying this, InnoSup 1 will not be continued as such. So despite the fact that we all know it's very successful, it was decided not to continue InnoSup 1, but it doesn't mean that it won't. The very similar will not be in Horizon Europe, depending on the development of work program, which will be published after agreements with members of the steering committees, member states, in April. So let me concentrate on joint cluster initiative, the Euro clusters, which for me is the most important for cluster policy development in the EU. We want to build on the what we have. So first of all, the joint cluster initiative will draw from the experience from Horizon Europe InnoSup 1 innovation. So we want to have this consortia build and incorporating innovation in SMEs as the InnoSup 1 is doing. We will have as well the international dimension, that this consortia are building the scope and scale in order to be able to be to either lead the global value chain or be part of the important part of the global value chains. Excellence, so that in order to be able to do this, cluster managers and cluster organizations and clusters as such, they need to be capable to do this. So improving their capacity. So capacity building, and then finally embedded, incorporating as well they are aligned or coherent with the smart specialization strategies. So we have this already in view of Agri-food and the work you were doing. We have in InnoSup 1, VIDA and S3 Food. In the European Strategic Cluster Partnerships for Smart Specialization, there are 3 partnerships in agri-food packaging and digitalization, ICT and digitalization within agri-food for as well precision farming and for tracing. I'm showing you all this so that you are aware that already on this basis you can create partnerships for the futures. future. And then this is going international agri-food and packaging as well. We had the partnership here relevant for agri-food. And then in capacity building, safe smart food as well. So we have already the agri-food and very much embedded in our actions. Then now with the new industrial strategy, we will be focusing on 14 ecosystems. Digital and agri-food are specifically highlighted. What we would like to do in clusters is to have this all together combined and link them in value chains, but focus definitely on critical inputs which will help us to reinforce transformation to greener and more digital economy, but as well increase our strategic autonomy. So you can think about what is really the strategic elements in our agri-food which we are too much dependent on, or we would like to be really have strategic autonomy. So finalizing, I encourage you all to, if you are from cluster organization, to update your profile in our new cluster collaboration web page, where you will have find partners, you will have funding and tenders available, news, events. This is our hub information, European Commission official place where all this information and potential partners can be found for you and new tenders. So I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and looking forward to listening to your experience, to your successes and failures as well, and would like to know what could be still improve in the new instruments. Of course, it is only just one part of what could be available in the whole multi-annual financial framework. But I think now we need to focus on the results of this project. So thank you very much, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much for this incredible welcome speech, Marek. This actually gives us the boost to keep on going. And the next part is going to be the presentation of the main results of the EU Project DIVA. And this is a time to evaluate the main impact of the campaign. The participants of the next session are the representatives of the 10 partners of the consortium who know the true impact of the project in society. They're going to present the main results of the project and a final video as a summary of the 3-year program. Please welcome our 5 presenters, which are going to be Lydia Brunault, from the European Project Manager in the Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation, Sara Correia, Neves, Project Manager in INESCTEC, Nathalie Chavrier, Technical Responsible in Agrifood, CTA, Nicolas Nguyen from the DIVA Project Coordinator that just spoke, at also Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation, and Manuel Moreno García, Communications Manager at AMETIC. All yours.
Thank you, Rosemary. So hello, everyone. I'm Lydia Brunault. I'm European Project Manager at Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation. I'm working on the administrative management of the DIVA project. So to start with some element of context, so DIVA is a European project funded by Horizon 2020. It has started in 2018 and will end at the end of this month. The main title of DIVA is boosting innovative digitech value chains for agrofood, forestry and environment. So the main objectives of DIVA are to support innovation by SMEs, to foster the emergence of new value chains with a cross-sectoral approach between digital and agri-food sector, and also related sectors such as forestry and environment. And another objective of DIVA is to help SMEs to have a European ambition. And these objectives are supported by a voucher scheme. So we have launched 2 calls for projects to support innovative projects at different TRL level. So I will detail the voucher scheme just after. But first, about the consortium. So as Nicolas said earlier, DIVA is a collaborative project. So it is coordinated by Agri Sud-Ouest Innovation, a French cluster specialized in the agri-food sector in the southwest of France. And we have also 9 other partners involved in this project, coming from 6 countries. So Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Ireland. And in 4 of these countries, a pair of agro and digital actors has been set up to promote the connection between these 2 sectors. So then concerning the cross-sectoral aspect of DIVA, so it is one of the main aspect of DIVA. The project wanted to create links between from the agricultural, forestry and environmental sectors and digital sectors, and also to create links with other actors from the emerging industries, such as experience industries and creative industries. A second objective of DIVA is to identify and to develop some new value chains. So what is exactly a value chain? You have here an example of the value chain on data. So the chain has 4 steps. So the first step is the acquisition of data, for example, with sensors or imagery. The second step is the storage of this data, for example, with the first analysis of the data. The third step would be the interpretation of the data. And finally, the last step is the development and the commercialization of a new product or new service. This was the kind of project we looked for in DIVA, to associate different SMEs having a solution on a part of the value chain. So to detail now the Voucher scheme. So as I said before, so we have launched 2 DIVA open calls, one in 2019 and one in 2020. In each calls, we have proposed 4 types of vouchers, depending on the maturity of the project. So the first voucher was the maturation voucher. So it was for individual or collaborative project with a level of TRL between 4 and 6. So SMEs received 10,000 euros for development activities like market or IPR study or test in laboratory. The second voucher was the small scale demonstration voucher. We proposed 25,000 euros for collaborative project, so at least 2 SMEs, which aimed at experiment the solution in real environment. And this voucher applied to a project which covered a part of the value chain. And when a project covered the total value chain, the voucher proposed was 60,000 euros. And also the objective was to experiment the solution in real environment. The final voucher was the internationalization one. So the objective was to support the internationalization strategy of a consortium of 2 SMEs minimum. And the amount of this voucher was 30,000 euros. At the end of both calls, so at the end of both calls, so we have selected 88 maturation projects, 38 demonstration projects, 20 small scale and 18 large scale, and 8 internationalization projects. So it's a total of 2.7 million euros as a lump sum for SMEs. Then, so a part of the DIVA open calls, we have also implemented other activities to help the development of innovative ideas. So the first activity was the development of an innovation framework. So Sara will explain this just after me. The objective was to make a map of digital trends and opportunities for the agri-food sectors. And we have also launched a call for challenges. The aim was to propose to stakeholders in the agri-food sector to provide challenges in order to help digital companies to identify some new solutions. The list of challenges is still available on the DIVA website. And the second activities was the development of a network of demonstration facilities. So as I said before, in DIVA open calls, we have supported demonstration projects. So with this network, the idea was to propose a list of places, for example, farms or industrial facilities, where SMEs were able to implement their digital solution in a real condition and to test their solution. And the list of demonstration facilities is also on the DIVA website. So now let's move on to the results of the DIVA open calls. So as I said, so we have opened 2 open calls in 2019 and 2020. We have distributed 2.7 million euros of vouchers to SMEs. So we have received in total 402 proposals, and we have selected 134 projects. So it's a 35% of a success rate. We have selected 88 maturation projects, 38 demonstration projects, and 8 internationalization projects. So it represents 180 SMEs involved in this project. What is important also is that 28% of the collaborative projects were transnational. So this is a very good result for the DIVA project. So, thank you. So that's it for me. I give the floor now to Sara Neves, who will present you the DIVA framework.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sara Neves, and I'm a researcher at INESCTEC. And I will start this presentation. I will start this presentation with a quote that says that trends help you find the insight for an opportunity, for generate right ideas, and then execute them in the right way. So the first step of the project, we try to identify what trends can have an impact in the sector that we are working on. So meaning this, we try to understand where is the path going, so we can give our companies the idea where they can create value and go into the same direction. How we did this. So the process involves 4 major steps. We started with the literature review. We reviewed papers, academic papers, but also some documents, some reports for NGOs and even governmental reports. So we tried to have recent documents. At the time we did it, 74%, more than 74% of the documents have at the most 2 years. So we tried to understand what kind of trends affect this sector. We did not forget that there are some trends that are trends that cover the market and they are different to the sector. So examples like globalization, economic growth, population growth, or even climate change, we know that they affect the different sectors, but what kind of trends? And when we say trends, we are meaning digital trends, but also business trends. Trends that affect the business models and how the way we work with. So we did a literature review, we analyzed all the documents, and we arrived to a first preliminary list. More than having just the office work, we developed a survey, we applied the Delphi methods, and we asked some experts from European countries to validate. So we asked them from this list, what kind of technology and what kind of business trends do you believe that really have an impact, that will have an impact in the future from this sector? So they rank it in a scale of 1 to 5. And the final list of the trends that they combined with the literature review identified were 6. So we are talking about digital economy, data economy, on-demand economy, sharing economy, sustainable intensification, and circular economy. Just to make a small note, all of this, all of the reports, and even as a user-friendly downloadable version, you can access them at our project. So you can see if they still have value, it's still quite on time. If you want to see it, please feel free. But so we arrived, and for example, more than just giving these nice trends, for each of them, what we did was trying to give you a list of solutions that could be addressed. So for example, for data economy, we said that we were looking for solutions that could leverage and stimulate data aggregation, that will allow the generation of new knowledge, but also how could we ensure data security, protection, and even data authenticity. So all of these 6 trends, digital and business trends, were the first basis to have what we did in the next step. That is, I cannot just perfect. So since we already spoke, we have these trends as a basis, but the next step and the basic idea of the project was to find solutions for challenges. So we designed some challenges. We interact with stakeholders and try to identify high-level challenges within the different steps of the value chain. This step was crucial, so it gives the ground to work with the challenges in each step. We know, for example, if you consider, for example, the production stage and data analytics, the list that you have below in the slide that you can see, there were some technologies that we did find that have an impact in the sector. So for each of them, for each of these technologies, we gave some challenges for the companies to be working on for in any of the steps. So if we take, for example, data analytics, we say that in the production stage, we could have smart farming, biomass development, data on fertilization, status of crops, and even weather forecasts. Having the same technology, we could say, for example, that digital twins in the processing stage, or smart labels for packaging, track and trace, in retail, and then even in the end for the customer, we say that this data analytics could help to anticipate the demand of the customers, and this is crucial since we are talking about product with a short product cycle of life. So you can see in the report, if you want to take more a deeper look, all of these technologies have been developed, and you can even find some interesting and new views of the technologies in the sector that we are working for. So, Lydia, just the next slide, please. So we did 2 call for challenge and 2 call for solutions, and it was quite interesting to see that the challenges, there were companies that said we work with them. So they uncover what kind of challenge is their company working, what kind of challenge they want to have a solution for. And the big ones, the major ones, touched the 3 trends. It was sustainable intensification, digital economy, and data economy. It was curious to see that the solutions, the 134 projects that were selected, have the same, they provide solutions in the same trends, more or less the same trends. What we found also as opportunity and a gap here is that we did have a large number of challenges that were addressing circular economy, challenges that could be within this, but we did not have solutions within the same trends. So maybe there is a gap that could be addressed for some companies. And just to show you one example how this solution and this challenge and solution worked, we had a challenge. Maybe the owner of the challenge is here at this webinar. So it's a company in Ireland, and they designed a challenge. And this challenges was mainly in sustainable intensification, but also in data economy. And we had two projects that were funded to address the challenge. One of them more in the processing, There was the next generation smart clean in place system, and the other one more in distribution and selling. There was digitalization and automation for follow-up. So this is the main goal. We had the theoretical challenge, we had the real challenge with the stakeholders, and then we had the vouchers, and we support them with grants to in the different value chain to support and to resolve this challenge. And it's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sara. Hi, everybody. My name is Nathalie Chavrier. I'm the Agri-Food Officer for CTA in Spain. And now we're going to talk about the funded project, the 134 project we found under the call for project of DIVA. As Sara explained, what we did is to analyze these 134 projects and analyze how they match with the challenges we define in our DIVA framework. And then what we did too is to analyze the thematics that address those 134 projects. Can you go to the next slide, please, Lydia? So as you can see now on the slide, what we saw is that main part of the project addressed or granted by DIVA addressed the primary sector of the value chain. Concretely, 63% of those projects addressed sustainable production through crop or cattle precision farming. Then 13% of those projects address service of innovation marketing, 8% social sustainability, 7% address the food industry challenges regarding advanced manufacturing, 7% ecological sustainability, and 2% transport and chain. The next one, please, Lydia. So what we did too is just try to classify all those 134 projects under their level or degree of novelty. And so we defined 4 groups. The first groups regard usual application. That means solutions that were addressed by the granted project that we found really usual today. So those projects address the trends of sustainable intensification and digital economy. And one group of projects was related to precision farming applied to crops at plot scales. All kinds of solutions to improve water, fertilizer, disease weed management. Other group of projects were related to food processes, to improve some processes such as drying, for instance, to improve quality monitoring for wine or honey, for instance, or to improve food security through, for instance, the detection of contaminants. The second group we defined, the next slide, please, Lydia, was, we call it the confirm application trends. So those solutions cover maybe all the trends that Sara explained before. And some of the solutions were related to farm management. They were focused on data aggregation and provide some of them some decision support system in order at farm scale, not at plot scale, but at farm scale. And we had some projects, for instance, to regarding urban farming or bee management. Other group of projects of solution addressed by the granted DIVA project were related to precision animal farming. We had some solutions, some applications such as calving detection, herd monitoring, poultry management, and welfare monitoring. Other projects address experimentation and phenotyping. They address the breeder needs through automated measurement of nutrients. And we had a group of projects that address special needs of the forestry sectors. and address some solution to improve the inventory or the management of forests. Then we had another kind of solutions relating to the sharing between farmers, to share platform, to share data, to share assets, to share results, to share experience in order to improve the farm management. And at least we had some project related to some platform of data in order to improve traceability, security, authentication of foodstuffs, and some other projects were related to marketplace. Then the next one, Lydia, please. The third groups of solutions addressed by a granted project of DIVA, we call it new application because we found those solutions quite new in our framework. The first one group of application were related to support to breeding using digital twins for genetic engineering. And then we had a group of solution regarding environmental issue in farming. We had such new solutions such as some solution to measure the footprint, environmental footprint of a farm and the environmental profile of a farm. Other solution to assess the quality of the pollination service. Other solution to optimize, for instance, the flower thinning for apple tree, and other solution to monitoring the soil quality. And then we had other solutions, group of solutions related to participatory platform. And it was quite interesting to see platforms such as some platform to connect farmers and consumer, for instance, a platform to make consumers sponsoring a tree or something like that. And some platforms based on digital identity. And then the last groups of solution funded by DIVA Call, the next one, please, Lydia, are missing application. That means that some topics were poorly covered by the funded DIVA projects. For instance, crop production with vertical farming was not very covered, or we expected more solution or more project on nutrition and health for personalized nutrition, or we would have liked to have more project on food process through predictive maintenance, or some project regarding all challenges that are faced by the value chain on logistic issue, or some services for farmers to improve all accounting and insurance issue. So that were at the end all the funded project by DIVA. Now I give the floor to Nicolas. Nicolas is going to talk about technology and conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathalie. So just for the technological aspects of DIVA, and I refer to the presentation by Sara, and she showed the different technology that we were expecting in DIVA as the most important technology that we could expect in this kind of digital projects. So obviously we had many projects related to data management and analysis. So of course we many projects mention artificial intelligence and big data. I don't know if in all situations we are really indeed in situations of big data and situations where AI is really appropriate, but at least there is an important issue on data science at least, and modeling. And I think methods to extract information from a big amount of data and make set up correlations between these data. The other aspect, of course, is sensors and IoT. As soon as you want and you need data to as input in the value chain, you need some sensors. And when you talk about sensors, IoT is not very far. So these are the main aspects that are very commonly shared in the different projects that we supported. Among the emerging topics, I would mention robotics and automations, including drones also. and robotics is not a technology in itself, but it requires to have some good knowledge in photonics and mechatronics and different AI skills. And this is very interesting. And maybe we did not cover it very well, because I think that for robotics and automation, typically we need maybe more money that what would offer in DIVA with 60K limit. That was the limits imposed in the INESCTEC projects. Blockchain was, of course, well, used in different types of projects. I put the question tag because I'm not really convinced that for the moment blockchain is always adapted for any kind of project. I think blockchain is to be restricted to very specific situations where we have and we can afford to develop this kind of technology, but we can discuss about it later on. And what we didn't have so much what was really on the digital aspects. We didn't talk too much about cloud systems, edge computing, or maybe digital architecture of the systems, and that's was surprising for me, because we wanted to bring to the agri-food sector some people from the pure digital sectors that somehow didn't know anything about the agri-food sector, but bring us with new ideas and refreshing ideas about, well, how we should conceive the digital solution. So I think we still need to work on these aspects with our colleagues from the digital sector. Digital twins was a very interesting concept that we didn't have that much, and we need to work on this, particularly for the food processing aspects. I talked about photonics and electronics, and I'm convinced that we have to work more closely with the companies from this sector to develop particularly some smart and low-cost sensors. Augmented and virtual reality was a buzzword maybe three years ago, but we didn't hear about it too much in DIVA. And cybersecurity obviously is an important word and important aspect that we should cover, and we didn't have projects specifically on these aspects, but at the same time it's not specific to the agri-food sector. But anyway, I think it's a very important aspect to deal with in the future. And so here are the conclusions of DIVA. So as you can see, and what we have seen is that digital innovation is very active. So we had, as Lydia said, about 400 applications for DIVA, and so many different ideas. So this is very interesting. This applies to agri-food and forestry. I tend not to make the difference between the forestry sector and agri-food sector, because I think that we have very close issues, very common issues between the forestry sectors and the agri-food sectors. I've worked for the forestry sectors for 15 years, and I know that there are very many common things, and so we have to shut the wall that we've built between these two sectors, and many things that we've developed in the agri-food sector can be used in the forestry sectors and vice versa. What seems quite important for me is that we have to consider all the possible actors all along the value chain, and that was a discussion with the companies from the digital sector. The farmers are not the only actors for the agri-food sector. There are many different actors, seed producers, manufacturers, dronists, but there are many different kinds of services that are offered to the agri-food sector. So insurance, accounting, and research also is an actor of the agri-food sector, and all these actors have specific needs. So we should try to know and have a clear map of all the actors and try to identify their needs. And of course, we should also consider the different steps in this way, different steps of the value chain. We had many projects covering the primary sector, as Nathalie said. We had less applications for the food processing and even packaging also, and transport chains. So obviously we need to focus more on these aspects, even though I think it's important to keep the integrated approach of the whole value chain. Otherwise we miss some aspects, and particularly regarding the data issue and the traceability. Obviously we cannot afford to focus just on one step of the value chain. Crosssectoral well, cross-sectoral approach. So I'm referring to mixing people from the digital sector and from the agri-food sector or forestry sectors. That was not that easy. We managed in DIVA to have some pairs of partners so that we can facilitate this cross-fertilization. And we'll still see after 3 years of work in DIVA that we still need to work together, because most of the time we don't have the same words and we don't see the things in the same way. Most of the time the challenges that are proposed by actors from the agri-food sector are not accurate enough for pure digital people, and so we still need to explain and make an acculturation for both sides. An important aspect is that we've seen in DIVA is that digital innovation is not necessarily very high-tech. I think that there is a growing trend now of moving from techno-push to real market pull, and we have seen very interesting proposals related to just sharing information. The issue was not technological, but just the innovation was really organizational and maybe just a kind of social innovation, just by adding the good tool at the good moment. And I think the other key word that we have to keep in mind is frugal innovation. So we can do much for digitalization with existing solutions sometimes, and we have to keep that in mind. The important aspect that I want to mention also is data. So most obviously we need to work on data, and I think this is the main issue for the coming years. We need to work on the data. We need to work on the interoperability of data so that there is good connections. So obviously companies have developed APIs, so this is not the real issue, but we have to talk about the same thing. So we need to work on the standards. We need to work on gathering the data not necessarily in the same place, but to make connection between the different data sources. And we need also to work on exchange and consent for sharing the data, consent management, and
we lost for a second Nicolas. We're going to try and put him back right now. So far, this have been really great presentations. You can see the great amount of effort it takes to get results and impacts, and you need to work together as a team. So what EU Project DIVA is doing right now is really incredible. Congratulations to all of your very complete presentations. We're going to see if we can connect again with Nicolas, and if not, we would go back to the video, which we have prepared also from Manuel Moreno García. So let's see a little bit. Okay, here you are again. Nicolas, all yours.
No, I'm sorry. I'm done with my presentation. Thank you, Rosemary.
Okay. Well then, back to Manuel Moreno.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today here. This is Manuel Moreno from AMETIC, the association representing the digital technology industry sector in Spain, as we called ourselves the voice of the digital industry. It is such a privilege for me to be here to present the official launch of the EU Project DIVA video summary. This video represents the real essence and impact of this 3-year project, showing some practical examples of SMEs from all over Europe who had the opportunity to grow and boost the digital transformation of their businesses. 9 countries represented and almost 150 funded projects. Outstanding figures to demonstrate how technology could contribute to optimize the whole value chain of these traditional primary sectors. At the end of this video, you will also see some testimonials from beneficiaries of the project who summarized all in one word what the EU Project DIVA has meant for them and their companies. And now it is time to push the button. So I hope you like. I let you enjoy the video in 3, 2, 1, go.
When you think of working on the land, what do you see? A bright wheat field beneath the summer sun, soft breeze passing by. Maybe some real farmers giving it all in their yard. Or perhaps an exploited forest. With DIVA, we envision the future for our lands. The agro-food industry is one of the keys to our well-being as humans. We need a global transformation, and digital technologies can help us feed the planet while preserving the environment and reinforcing our economy. DIVA helps small and medium companies on their paths to develop new solutions to current challenges in agriculture, forestry, and the environment. From local to global, from producers to consumers, from small to big, from challenges to opportunities. A digitalized primary productive sector that truly reaches its potential. DIVA has created a strong European ecosystem of digital talent, support, and change. Today's challenges are a great opportunity to create sustainable business models for the agri-food, forestry, and environment industry of tomorrow. Join us in creating the land we imagine for our future.
Prokázání účinnosti.
Aceleración.
Impulsar.
Sinergia.
Colaboración.
Creación. Impulso.
Mensurado. Colaboración.
Concretizzazione.
Impulso. Speranza.
Well, I applaud. I'm sure all of the 149 participants that are with us have also enjoyed very much this video. It really makes you want to be a part of the EU Project DIVA. And thank you again to the 4 participants and speakers that have presented all of the results and impacts in your great and complete presentations.